We have the topic today of healthy exploration, and I would like to read you a letter from a 21-year-old medical student. We are doing a tech study on taking charge, and in this, she's doing life stories of people and how each of us evolve at different stages and ages. And as part of her research, she probably asked a 21-year-old to write this letter. And here is the letter. It takes about 6 minutes, so be patient. And I think this will give us a sense of what healthy exploration looks like. Yeah. So, letter from a 21-year-old medical student. I feel great changes in myself, both in the routines of my life and in my inner and outer appearance. I was one of the best pupils in class and got the best marks until I suddenly became aware that I was learning at the time and the way in which I was learning it, the things which the teachers were doing and on which they placed great emphasis, were leading me nowhere, at least nowhere in relation to studying medicine, which was my real aim. I felt how technology was taking over, and my head could no longer cope with so many concepts. I felt myself losing my sensitivity. I therefore embarked on a new method. I no longer simply copied what the professors were saying, paid more attention, and tried to extract the key elements from the lectures. In other words, I tried to stop simply being a copying machine. We have classes all day and many subjects which are not particularly useful. I therefore started to attend these classes less assiduously. People thought that I was doing the wrong thing, but I felt much better for it and was able to use my time more constructively doing other things which I found more interesting. The only thing is that my marks have gone down, but I still feel that I benefit sufficiently from the classes. Another thing which bothers people is my appearance. I found myself looking like a real doctor, found my face looking the same as those of my fellow students since they had started studying medicine like myself. They placed great emphasis on their appearance. All had the same hairstyle and combed it in the same way. They had mustaches, glasses, and used specialist terminology when they spoke. I therefore decided to let my hair and beard grow and take off my glasses. I sent my better clothes home. People began to call me a hippie, and I felt very happy. I carry a simple bag, which I like very much, instead of a briefcase with a badge of the university emblazoned on it like everyone else. I try to develop many other qualities. Something like an explosion occurred in me. The impulse to turn everything on its head. I have started to learn to play the guitar, have joined the drama group, and am gradually developing a greater understanding of nature. I observe the fields and the river whenever possible. I have also started to cultivate a small garden. I wanted to change everything. I've started to study homeopathy and have already done an acupuncture course and a parapsychology course. Before, I never left the house. Now, I have a group of friends of whom I'm very fond. We talk at length. I lead a bohemian life, go to bed late, have discussions, and I'm getting to know many people. I'm working in a homeopathic outpatient department. I have been feeling good for the last few months. I feel that everything has become much more human. I feel very enthusiastic, mainly in developing the abilities I learn from various people. I read anthroposophy regularly. I have already read occult science, the education of child from the standpoint of spiritual science, the four temperaments, The First 3 Years of the Child, and other books like The Body as Instrument of the Soul. All these things give me great inner wealth. I'm also in a phase in which I'm very interested in discovering my inner self and in educating myself. I have started psychotherapy and I'm feeling very well. I try not to hide anything from myself and to open all my doors, to be extremely honest and to be as useful as I can in practical life. I also want to tell you that I am thinking of experimenting with drugs. I want to study psychiatry and I should get to know these things, but I'm not sure about it yet. I have tried to understand why I want to do it, whether it is not a form of escape, but I do not think so. A few days ago, when I was a bit drunk with some friends, I observed something incredible, namely, everything which I wanted to say and do, I would have wanted to say and do even if I had not been drunk. A few years ago, that would not have been possible. I am in an extrovert phase and dance even without drinking, which I could not do before. I'm very lucky in some respects. Before, I was very melancholic and felt and frequently thought about death. Today, in this explosive phase in which I am now, I no longer think about death or only rarely. I'm still a melancholic by temperament, but I feel very good inside myself. I think that I now have a greater love for things and people. I like to talk with people and try to say what I feel and think clearly without ambiguity. I did not do that before. I kept it to myself if people depressed me. Perhaps I'm going too far with myself, but this is how I really see things and what I think about them. And perhaps this might be of some value to your research about life story. This is the letter by a 21-year medical student and how he has started exploring himself. I mean, we can call it as healthy exploration and how it has benefited him to stay happy, um, just pure transparency, no need to hide anywhere, and how it is essential for us to develop that healthy exploration. Somewhere we feel that inner fullness. There is some grounded curiosity, you know. Somewhere I'm willing to stay with an experience, good, bad, otherwise. He says he's melancholic. He thought about death and he frequently thought about death, but doesn't anymore. He likes being called a hippie. I mean, not worried about staying out of the crowd, right? So somewhere there is that curiosity but no anxiety. And in fact, he's enjoying exploring, not being like everybody else. Somewhere that trigger. I mean, he also mentions he has read so many of these books. And typically, when we talk about World of Inspired or World of Schools, many of these things come naturally to child, and because they're allowed at different ages to experiment, explore, somehow this comes up. I don't know if this child was from World of, but the fact that he has read many anthroposophical books indicates that he's influenced by this spiritual, practical spirituality, which is anthroposophy. You know, and there is an there is this ability that we develop to pause, to reflect, to decide, to integrate, to see what I can and I cannot do, to ask for help. Somewhere, this sense of discovering myself, What is it that I'm capable of? What is it I'm suppressing? What is it that I really want to do? Right? What is this healthy exploration? When I get into this path of exploration, I expand. Like how he said, he had fewer relatives before, but now he has a lot more friends. He can hold discussions, right? So relationships flourish. There is reality. I mean, it's not like faking, it's not pretending. Versus when we are unconscious about it, we become restless. Oh my God, who is looking at me? Why should I be doing this? Every medical student is doing this. They're taking a straightforward path. Now I feel I want to learn homeopathy. I feel I want to learn psychology, but no, I'm in the mainstream medicine, but let me stay here. There is that inner discomfort. Yet I go because mainstream looks reliable, where I lose myself. So I would like us to explore on this and see what best comes for our own selves. Yeah. Thank you.